Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw. Port Hueneme Mayor Sylvia Muno joins us to talk about the changes going on at Port Hueneme. Port Hueneme, it is a port. Export, import, what's going on?
Yes, so just wanted to give you an update that we've actually settled something that was a court case. We settled with the Oxnard Harbor District Port of Hueneme just a few days ago. And what that means is that we can be guaranteed some revenue sharing from the Port of Hueneme moving forward, but it also then shows that the port is expanding and growing in terms of what they're bringing in to the community and exporting out. And so the city of Port Hueneme and the residents get to benefit from that.
And it is a lot of revenue. There's a lot of, it's based on tonnage and the number of vehicles going through there?
Correct. So it's based on tonnage, whether it's non-vehicle, but it's other things that they bring in and that they export as well. And so it's all based on that. It's a percentage. And these contracts and agreements go back many, many years. About 8 years ago, we renewed a 25-year agreement with the Port of Hueneme. And with that, ends up being a revenue sharing agreement as well. But there are many different contracts in there. There's like 4 or 5 different pieces. So as we settled this out of court, then what it gave us is it gave us 3 years on the back end. So the 25 years started counting down 8 years ago. Well, it gives us another 3 years. It also then allows the city to sell some property that we had leased out and had businesses on, but they're mainly businesses that could help provide land and other opportunities for offices for the port. And so we're selling them those pieces of property. And then it also then cemented in that, we'll agree to abide by all the contracts in the past. And the port has changed in a way over the course of the last 10 or 15 years of what they're doing.
Import, export, how is the percentage?
So it has been more of an an import port, where they're bringing in many of the vehicles that are made overseas, whether it's vehicles that are made in Europe or even in Korea. And so now it's actually then become more of an export. They're exporting vehicles that are made in the U.S. to other areas, and they're also exporting machinery and equipment, like for agriculture and manufacturing, out of the Port of Hueneme. So they're really diversifying in terms of what they're doing, and then with that, the city of Port Hueneme gets to benefit from that revenue sharing agreement.
And the revenue sharing, what percentage of the budget does that comprise?
So right now, it's just about 8% of the total city budget, which isn't a large percentage, but it is something. If we fail to get that 8%, then it affects our services and what we can do at the city. And so what that does is it provides for the impacts that the port has on the city. So we can make sure that our roads are paved and the potholes are replaced and are taken care of. And that's what we end up doing, is representing then with that money the impacts that the port and the vehicles have on our streets and roads.
Wonder how many millions of tons come through there. It does have an environmental impact.
Quite a bit. And so we've seen over the course of time that has changed, that has waned. If the economy is gone bad, then we see less business come through the port. So the city then suffers in that. But when there are good years, then we have good years as well with the revenue sharing.
Well, I'm sure you're relieved that you've had that suit settled that's been hanging on for quite a bit of time, right?
It's been one of those things. And you have to weigh out the benefit of, is there a benefit to settle now or continue with the attorney cost and fees? And so we realized that now was a good time.
Okay, great.
So the
Port
city
Hueneme Mayor Sylvia Muno, thank you so much for joining us on Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw.